Hi and welcome. My name's Deonna and I'm a yoga instructor, and today we will be going through a slow flow yoga practice. During today's practice, if you have any health or injuries, I would recommend consulting with your physician prior to starting this practice. We will be modifying some of the poses, so be sure to listen to your body. But again, if you have any health or wellness issues, please be sure to see your physician prior to starting this practice. During today's practice, we are going to be incorporating our breath, and I am also going to break down the techniques. So if at any time you need to pause the video to get into a certain form, please feel free to take time to do so. And Laura is going to go through the full practice, and I will be modifying throughout. So now we are going to begin in a child's pose, and we're going to come down onto our mats, bringing the big toes together. And Laura's going to go into a traditional child's pose. I'm going to come into an easy seat pose. So if you have any knee issues or, child's pose is not a part of your practice, join me in an easy seat. From here, we're just going to take 3 to 5 breaths. This is the moment that you can begin to set your intention. Maybe you're thinking about what brought you to your mat today, and just taking a nice slow and steady inhale, and then gently releasing on the exhale. Another nice slow and steady inhale, and then gently exhaling. Taking one last big inhale, and your eyes can be either open or closed, whatever you feel most comfortable with. From here, we're going to begin our cat-cow series. So if you're in a child's pose, you're coming up nice and slow, taking your gaze to the front of your mat and coming onto an all-fours position. If you're in an easy seated pose, you will remain here. And from here, we're going to keep the hands on our knees, and we're just going to begin by inhaling, arching our backs, tucking your tailbone under, chin comes to the chest, and then exhaling, dropping the belly forward, lifting the chin up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, arching the back, tucking the tailbone under, chin comes to the chest. And then exhaling, dropping the belly in, releasing, chest up, chin out, seat comes to the ceiling. And you're taking this at your own pace for 3 to 5 breaths. And taking your last big inhale, arching your back here. And then on the exhale, we're dropping the belly, reaching the chin up and the chest out, and then slowly returning to neutral. From here, if you're in an all-fours position, you're going to inhale the right arm up, straight out in front of you, and you're taking that left leg straight back behind you. If you're in a seated position, you have a few options here. You can inhale both arms up towards the ceiling, or just gently raise that right arm. And from here, we're going to bring our right elbow to our left knee, all together, inhaling. And then on the exhale, releasing. Inhaling elbow to knee. Really engaging your core here as you take this motion. 3 to 5 breaths. 2 more. And then bringing the hands back to neutral. From here, we're just going to take one cat-cow to reset everything. So taking a nice big inhale, arching the back, tucking the tailbone under, chin comes to your chest, nice and slow. And then on the exhale, releasing, chest out, chin up, dropping the belly in. And then slowly returning back to neutral. This time we're going to take that same motion on the opposite side. So if you're in an all fours position, we are inhaling our left arm straight out in front of us this time, and the right leg is going to come straight back behind us. And this time, maybe if you didn't put both arms up while you're in your easy seated pose, lifting both arms up. And all together, we're going to inhale, dropping that left elbow down to our right knee, engaging the core, lifting the body back up. Inhaling, dropping that elbow back down to our knee, releasing on the exhale, coming back up. And then taking this for 3 more breaths here. One last breath. And then returning to neutral. So from here, we're going to take one last cat-cow. Inhaling, arching the back, tucking the tailbone under, chin comes to your chest. Beautiful job. And then dropping the belly under, releasing the chin from the chest. Lifting your seat if you're in a all fours position before slowly returning back to neutral. So now if you're in an easy seated pose, I'm going to ask that you can either use a blanket or a towel, but we're going to come onto all fours. So if you've already been in all fours, staying in that position, we're going to join you in all fours. And so take a look at your form here. So your hands are spread out. They're about shoulder width apart. And then feet are about hip width apart. And from here, we're going to start by taking our left hand and grounding it down in the center of our mat so that your hand and your face are in line here. We're going to inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling, taking our gaze to follow that right hand. And then as we exhale, we're gently dropping the body back, maybe sliding that left hand up and threading through that left arm, stretching out here. And we're going to hold here for 3 to 5 breaths. So you're going to feel this stretch in a couple different areas, primarily in the shoulder, the chest, the arms, but you may even feel a little bit of work in the hip flexors as well. Taking your last big inhale. And then a nice slow and steady exhale. We're going to walk that left hand towards the face. Gently press the body up. Returning to neutral, and then maybe taking that right arm back up towards the ceiling one last time before coming back to all fours. So this time, we're going to take our right hand, root down through the center. The right hand is in line with the face this time. And we're inhaling that left arm up towards the ceiling. Slow and steady here. We're going to, on the exhale, drop back down, and take that same stretch on the opposite side. So noticing how the body feels here. Maybe you realize that one side of the body is more open than the other, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe you're realizing that you need to adjust to get comfortable in this position. And we're just going to relax here for 3 to 5 breaths. And taking your last big inhale, on the exhale, you're sliding that right hand down towards your face, gently pressing up through the right hand, lengthening that left arm back up towards the ceiling, opening up the chest one last time before returning to all fours. So from here, we're just going to walk the hands back, tuck the toes under, and slowly come up to standing. First, what we're going to do is take our Tadasana. So in Tadasana, mountain pose, your toes are grounded down onto your mat, and your feet are what is going to be engaged here to really help you strengthen and lift through your Tadasana. You're going to rotate your knees inward so that you can lift up through your hamstrings and your glutes, engaging your core through maybe sucking that belly button in towards your spine, and then rotating your right shoulder blade back and your left shoulder blade back. And just holding here for 3 breaths. Taking an exhale, releasing from your Tadasana. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center and begin our sun salutation series. Inhaling, lifting the arms up towards the ceiling, taking your gaze with you. Slowly exhaling, releasing, folding forward, nice and slow. And just holding here for a second. Head and neck are in line with the spine, and it's great if you can keep a slight micro bend in the knees. That will help to alleviate any tension and allow you to avoid pulling anything in the hamstrings. From here, we're going to slide the hands up the shins, creating a flat back, coming into a 90-degree angle. The shoulders will have the tendency to want to ride up. You're going to gently press those shoulder blades back. Holding here for just 2 breaths. And then slowly sliding the body back down into your forward fold. I want you to take a second here now to look down at your feet. Notice where your fingertips are. And you have a couple of options. So you're going to come into a plank. You can slowly just lower down into your plank, or you can gently walk the fingertips up the mat, making sure the hands are about shoulder width apart, and then hold into your plank. Belly is lifted. You're using your quads here to really engage your core and really lift you up through your plank. We're going to take a micro bend in the elbows, rotate them inward towards the rib cage, and then gently lowering down, Chaturanga Tadasana. If you'd like to modify this pose, you can slowly press the knees down onto the mat and then bring the crown of the head down. From here, the hands are beside the chest, so you have a couple of options. You can lift up like Laura's going to do into an upward facing dog, or you can walk the fingertips out about 3/4 of the way from the body and slowly lift up into a wide arm cobra. So the hips are still firmly planted onto the mat here. The only thing lifting is the chest and the head and the shoulders, your upper body. And we're going to hold here for 3 breaths. And then you can go straight into your downward facing dog, or you can walk the fingertips back into the chest, slowly lift the body up, tuck the toes under, knees are bent, and then bring the seat to the ceiling. So welcome to your first down dog of today's class. Checking in with your form here, so making sure the fingertips are spread out nice and wide, so that will help to alleviate any pain you may feel in the wrist or the shoulders. And then maybe looking to your right and left bicep, making sure the crown of your head is in line with both biceps. From here, we're going to root down through our left toes and then inhale that right foot up towards the ceiling, pointing that right toe. So notice your hip will want to peel out. You're keeping the hips parallel here. We're going to bend that right knee over and take it to the left elbow. And then gently press that right knee up. And then bend it and take it over to the right elbow. And then press that right knee back up one last time. Take it through to the center, holding here for a second. And then slowly that right foot in between both hands, keeping the left toes tucked under, and then lifting up into your warrior one. Alignment is very important here as well. So the shoulders will want to ride up. We want to melt them down our back. Making sure that the hips aren't opening out towards the side, but keeping everything parallel and in line with your mat. And then the knee is in line with the right ankle. We're going to hold here for just 2 breaths. And we're smiling to help unclench the jaw and release any tension through the face. And because you love doing yoga, we're going to drop that left knee now down onto our mat, nice and slow. And we're going to take the hands, untucking the left toes. We're going to take the hands and interlace them behind our back. So you're opening up your shoulder here. And bringing your gaze now about 3/4 of the way up towards the ceiling. So you don't want to break your neck back and you don't want to drop the neck forward, but just gently lifting the chin up about 3/4 of the way. Really breathing through this pose, engaging your core through sucking that belly button into your spine is what's really going to help you stay steady here. And if interlacing your hands and reaching back is not a part of your practice, just taking a nice gentle reach back is more than enough. Now we're going to tuck those left toes under and lift that left knee back up, bringing our arms back up to the ceiling, returning to our warrior one. We're going to take a nice big inhale here. Slow and steady exhale. And on the next inhale, we're going to bring our left leg to meet our right. From here, You may land on the middle or the front of your mat, but we're going to come into a chair pose. So the knees and the big toes are together. And we're just going to slowly bend down, tucking the tailbone under, melting the shoulders down our back, palms of the hands facing inward, and hold in our chair. And in poses like this, your body will feel challenged, so making sure to smile at any time. And then gently releasing, returning up to your Tadasana. How are we feeling? Halfway there. Excellent. So we're going to take that same flow on the opposite side. Notice how your body feels now that one side is more warmed up than the other. So we're just going to take it nice and slow. Returning to our Tadasana. So using your toes to root down, rotating those knees inward to activate our hamstrings, and then taking the right shoulder, rotating it back, taking the left shoulder, rotating it back, and sucking that belly button in towards your spine, head and neck in line, and just holding here for 3 breaths. On the next exhale, we're going to inhale the hands to our heart center. Taking an exhale, releasing. We're going to inhale the hands up now towards the ceiling, bringing your gaze with you this time. And then slowly exhaling, swan diving forward, fold. Beautiful form. Just bending over, remembering that micro bend in the knees here. Nice and slow. And then from here, we're going to take 2 more breaths. We're going to create a flat back, sliding up about 3/4 of the way, creating a 90-degree angle with the body. And then gently releasing, folding back forward. I want you to take a second, looking down at your toes. Begin spreading the fingertips to the outsides of the feet. The hands should be about shoulder width apart. And you have a few options here. You can step or hop back into your plank. But just coming into a plank, and I'm going to walk my hands forward. And we're just going to hold here. Head and neck in line with the spine, lifting through the quads and the core. We're going to take a micro bend in the elbows, rotating the elbows in towards the chest, and then gently lowering down, chaturanga. I'm going to take my knees to the mat first, and then bringing the chest and the chin and the crown of the head down. Taking a breath here. Laura's going to lift up into an upward facing dog. I'm going to walk the fingertips 3/4 of the way out from the chest, and slowly lift up into a cobra. So the only thing that should be rising up off the mat is the chest, the shoulders, and the head. And you just want to take a few breaths here because we're all going to meet in downward facing dog. And once you've taken your last couple of breaths, returning the crown of the head down to your mat, walking those fingertips back in, tucking those toes under, lifting up through the arms, knees stay bent, and the hands are about shoulder width apart. Fingertips spread out wide, and then lifting up into your down dog. So remember, I'm modifying for those of you who would like a alternative way to get into your positions. We're going to walk our dog here for a second. So walking your dog is just slightly bending the knees in. And this time we're going to inhale the left leg up towards the ceiling this time. Keeping the hips parallel to your mat, we're going to bend that left knee and take it over to our right elbow. Reaching that left leg long and straight back behind us. We're going to bend that left knee and take it over to our left elbow. And then reaching that left leg long and straight back behind us one last time. We're going to reach it through the center and hold. And then gently place the left foot down in between both hands, keeping the right toes tucked under, coming up into your warrior one on this side. So, smiling, breathing. From here, we're going to drop that right knee down onto our mat, untuck the toes under, and we're going to take the hands and interlace them behind us to open the chest on this side. And you're taking your gaze about 3/4 of the way up the ceiling. Breathing here, and then gently releasing the interlacing of the hands. We're going to come back to our warrior one, so we're tucking those right toes under, lifting the body up, keeping the hips parallel on our mat. Arms come up towards the ceiling, palms of the hands facing one another. Shoulders will have the tendency to want to rise up. We're going to melt them down our back. And then from here, we're going to bring that left leg to meet the right. So stepping forward with that right toe. And then we're going to take a chair. So bringing our big toes together, we're going to just gently bend into our chair. So pelvic bone is shooting forward. Shoulders are relaxed. Core is engaged here. Breathing slow and steady for just a few more breaths. Maybe taking your chair just a little bit lower before gently releasing and coming up to your Tadasana. Excellent job. Shaking that out. We're now going to come into a staff pose on our mats. So in staff pose, you have a few options here. Your legs are going to come straight out in front of you. We're going to take a seated forward fold, and we're going to root down through our sit bones. Feet are flexed. Inhaling the arms up towards the ceiling, and then gently exhaling and folding forward. So this is the same pose that we were doing standing, but we've now taken it to the ground. And so noticing where your hands drop. You don't want to pull or force anything in this motion. So being mindful of what your body tells you feels best. But you want to make sure that the head and the neck are all in line with the spine. Taking another drink of an inhale, maybe trying now to reach a little bit further than you were before, but not going beyond what your body's limits are. And then gently walking the fingertips back up before returning to a comfortable seated staff pose. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together now. And you can relax here in a nice, comfortable balasana, or you can feel free to take the hands up, inhaling them towards the ceiling, and then slowly lowering the hands down your mat. And noticing how your body feels in a seated balasana. We're opening up the hips here. Taking another drink of an inhale, maybe trying to walk the fingertips out just a little bit, but not too far where your feet are no longer touching. And we're just gently breathing here before we're walking the fingertips up on the exhale. And then we're taking the hands to the knees and slowly pressing the knees inward, bringing the soles of the feet to our mat. We'll now come to our backs. So you may have to shift on your mat, which is perfectly fine. We're going to bring the soles of the feet back onto the mat. And from here, the knees are bent. We're going to rotate that right shoulder blade inward and then rotate that left shoulder blade inward. So we're rooted down through the back and the shoulders. We're going to inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling. Point the toe and then flex the toe. Point the toe and then flex the toe. And then rotate the foot around in a circular motion. Reverse the circular motion. And then we're going to take that right ankle and now gently place it on our left knee. So we're going to take a second here to just breathe, and bringing your right hand to your right knee, just gently press down. And then release. We're going to take both hands and interlace it underneath our left thigh. And from here, we're going to lift the left sole of our foot, keeping both feet flexed off of the mat. So the left foot comes to the air. If you'd like to integrate some core work into this pose, you can gently lift up the upper body to meet the lower body. and hold here for 3 to 5 breaths. We'll take 2 more breaths. The closer you're able to bring that left knee to your body, the deeper that stretches through the right hip flexor. And gently releasing that left sole of our foot back down to our mat. Coming out of our supine pigeon on this side, lifting our right leg up towards the ceiling, and then slowly lowering it back down to the mat. From here, we're going to inhale, lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhaling as we point the toe, flex the foot, point the toe, flex the foot, and then just slowly circling that foot around and reversing the circle. And if you hear any cracking in your foot as you do this, it's just the air traveling through the body and being released. We're going to take that left ankle and place it over our right knee now. And we're going to take that same supine stretch on this side, but first, take that left hand and just gently press on that left knee. And we're just going to press down for 2 breaths. Then you're going to interlace, take the left hand off of your left knee. We're going to interlace both hands around our right knee. And then slowly releasing and lifting up that right sole of our foot, coming into a supine pigeon on this side. Both feet are flexed, hugging that right knee in towards our chest. Remember, if you want to get some core work on this side, you can lift the upper body. And we're just going to hold here for 3 to 5 breaths. Taking one last big inhale. And then gently releasing the front of the body, the right sole of the foot back down to the mat. Inhaling that left foot back up towards the ceiling, pointing and flexing the toe one last time. That left foot to meet the right. And from here, we're going to lengthen both legs straight down our mat as we prepare for our Shavasana, which is the most important part of practice. So rotating that right shoulder blade in, rotating that left shoulder blade in, and just gently sprawling out on your mat. Shavasana is usually about 5 to 8 minutes. And so from here, you're going to want to begin to wiggle your fingertips and your toes, waking the body up. And then slowly rolling onto one side. And you're going to use the arm that's on top to gently glide your body up, pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat, returning to our easy pose. We're going to inhale the shoulders up towards the ears and then slowly exhaling, releasing them down our back. Inhaling the shoulders up towards our ears and gently exhaling, releasing them down our back. Taking one last inhale up towards our ears, suspending the breath here, holding your breath, and then taking another little drink of an inhale before slowly exhaling, releasing, letting out a nice big sigh if needed. Bringing your hands to your heart center. The light in me sees the light shine so bright in each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you feel amazing and have a great day.